Hey, Nikki here. And in this video, I'm going to talk about one of the more common questions I get from clients about deadlifts, which is, what can I do if I really feel mostly my lower back or this area around my hamstrings, just kind of right by my knees instead of my glutes, or if I'm just having a hard time feeling any muscle at all when deadlifting? So let's talk about troubleshooting if you're feeling your lower back or kind of that area right at the backs of the knees first. It doesn't usually mean that you're doing anything necessarily dangerous or even wrong, but a lot of the time when we feel muscles in a certain way during an exercise, it has everything to do with our body position. And in the deadlift, the straightness of your knees will affect how much you feel the hamstrings and a little bit of the lower back versus the glutes. So let me show you what I mean. And it is subtle, but if you think about the cues when you're doing this, that might matter more than the visual itself or even what your deadlift looks like. So if when I'm deadlifting, I find my position, and a lot of the time we've been told, don't bend your knees because that's a squat. And that's true. We don't want to be squatting into the deadlift. But if you tend to be particularly like a chronic knee hyperextender like me, and you keep your knees really straight and your back really straight, this is going to be more work on your lower back and your hamstrings. And that is not necessarily bad, but it's going to be a lot more hamstring focused, and you will be more sore there. And you will feel more of a pull on the back of the knees. So just notice here, I have almost no movement in my knees, and my knees are really quite straight. Versus if I want to feel more glutes, it might be helpful for me to soften my knees and then send my butt to the back wall. And here I'm allowing my knees to have a little bit more bend in them, and I'm feeling a little bit more pull now through the whole back line of the leg, including my glutes, instead of just at the knee joint. So again, the cue is just soften the knees and the butt goes to the back wall. So I'm not really actively bending them, but that added softness might help me feel my glutes and take a little bit of the pull out of the hamstring and the low back. So let's talk about what to do if you feel nothing. So if the backs of your legs are a dead zone, usually it means that you need to use more resistance. Now, oftentimes, particularly when people are new to strength, they're a little hesitant to add more weight because there is a fear of injury, particularly if you have a history of pain or injury or hypermobile. So I'm going to show you an alternative to just increasing the weight itself. What you can do for this is you can take a band and you can set it up so it's going to be just at the pelvis, so you can load from the hips behind you and while holding dumbbells if you need more. So let me show you what that looks like. So you will step into the band. If you're doing it without the dumbbells, you'll walk out until you feel some pull. And then it's basically a standing hip thrust. I'm going to soften my knees, butt to the back wall, same cue. Feel that pull on the back of the legs, and then stand up. If you don't feel a pull, that's also okay. But just noticing how when I push into the band, I might get a little bit more feedback to the glutes. Now, if that still feels pretty easy, this is where we can add the weights back in along with the resistance from the band. So knees soften, butt to the back wall. And now I am loaded from both the dumbbells and from the band as I do the exercise. And if you are looking for more ways to get stronger, definitely check out my week of free workouts. It's got a ton of different exercise options in it, so you can customize it to your needs. The link is in the description to get it.